Hi there. So this is week 3 of the Bake Off. Are you ready to whip up some decadent fonts for your brand? So this week we are going to play with words. We're going to look at the different types of fonts that you can choose for your branding. And I've given you some strategy. Well, first I've given you a little bit of context and understanding on the different types of fonts that are out there. But to not get you completely overwhelmed, I've also given you 15 options of each of them to play with, and then places you can go to find the right fonts for you. So I am looking forward to helping you select some really beautiful fonts for your business. But as usual, all of the awesomeness happens on the other side of the computer. So I'm going to jump over there and work through the different places that we're going to go to look for fonts and how we're going to be going about it. So see you on the other side. Hello lovelies. Right, let's kick off this module on fonts and typography. So just running through here, I think you can download your play sheets to the left or right, and just to help you work through these concepts, I've broken it down. There are different ways to look at the different types of fonts, but I think that there are 3 main types of fonts that are trending, used, and most popular at the moment. So the first one being sans serif, then the serif, and script. All 3 are as popular as each other, but that's just the way I've positioned it. Let's chat through what's the difference between a serif and a sans serif. You may have heard people bandying the term around, but what is the difference between the two? Well, the difference, sorry, I just zoomed in a little bit, because the difference is that very tiny little serif, or the little edge of the font. That is what makes a serif font, and sans meaning without serif. So that is the difference between those two. And then I've bundled all the other brush, script, handwritten under the concept of a script. And I will break those all down for you. So those are the 3 top categories of fonts. And then if we break it down further, they're different thicknesses, they're different ways that each of the fonts have been created. And generally, if you look at the sans serif, it starts off with a very thin or light, or sometimes it's called the hairline sans serif. And then you move your way down to the regulars, the mediums, and then you end up down at the bold, the slab, or the heavy, or the semi-bold. So that's how fonts are sort of weighted in terms of thickness or heaviness. And I've also thrown in the sans serif condensed, because this is also a popular font I see coming through. And that's where it's almost like, if you look at a regular serif, it's quite thick it's got a standard size over here, but your sans serif is a lot skinnier than a serif. I mean, sorry, that actually makes no sense. Your condensed is a lot skinnier, like squished together compared to a normal font size. That makes a bit more sense. So that, in one font type, you can have very different weighted fonts that give it off an entirely different feel. Then you have the serif, and that, similar to the sans serif, it goes usually from a regular. They don't usually go as thin as a thin or hairline or light serif. So it's more from regular all the way down through your medium, semi-bolds to your bold. And somewhere in the middle, you'll find a italicized version. And this I'm seeing quite frequently in branding nowadays. Then in your script, you have it broken. I've broken it down into the 3 main categories. So your handwritten script, the ones that look like you've used a brush to create them, and calligraphy. So those are the most popular, but there are other font styles as well. And I'm curious for you, which is the font style you're most drawn to? Whether it's just in your everyday life, or whether it's for your branding, which are the fonts that you are most drawn to? And yes, different font you choose will depict a different personality, or it'll evoke a different feeling. Just like your colors do, so do your fonts. And it adds personality to your brand. So what I've done is I've taken the three main types and I've just outlined some of the emotions or words or feelings that these three font styles represent. But bear in mind that it often depends on the kind of thickness or weighting that you've chosen. So for your sans serif, that's quite a universal, clean font. It often gives off the feeling of stability. It takes quite an objective view. It's quite stable. It's modern, elite, structured, and strong. And that modern elite is often referred to when looking at the hairline options, the thinner options, and mainly the thinner options give off that modern elite, and the condensed as well. And then obviously structured and strong come into the more heavily weighted sans serifs. Then condensed and light, they have added words to them in that they give off a feeling of intelligence, sharp, fashionable, exclusivity, and progressive. Then your serif font, this is quite an authoritative font, gives that feeling of traditional, classical, structured, and especially when used in all caps, it gives that feeling of high-end impressiveness, and it's quite a respectable, reliable font. And then when you throw in that italic, it suddenly gives off this feeling of comfort, fashionable, high-end, stylish. And then looking at your scripts, obviously depending on which one you choose, but they often give off the feeling of femininity, elegance, creativity, that feeling of uniqueness, and an affectionate feeling or classic feeling, quite sometimes soft, but very expressive and intriguing. So hopefully some of those words will have been triggered for you and you'll be thinking, I wouldn't mind exploring this option a little bit more. I wouldn't mind exploring that option a little bit more. So where do we go? Oh, sorry. First, before we do that, what kind of emotions are you trying to evoke? And if you want to have a look at the different options around type, I've actually curated a Pinterest board for you. So here are some of the different options highlighted and shown visually for you, and this one is also a really good article for that. So you can have a look at the different emotions that they evoke, but we need to narrow it down to a font choice. So you've got, once you've figured out the kind of style that you're most leaning towards, then it's about finding the right one for your brand. Now, to make sure, whilst fonts give personality, if you use too many fonts, it's going to look like you have multiple personalities, which is the opposite end of what you're wanting to achieve, because then it looks like you're confused, and it confuses your clients. They think you're a bit schizophrenic. So how do we make sure that you narrow it down a little bit? And the easiest way to do that is pick 2 fonts, or at a push 3. And when I say choosing, if you opt for 3 fonts, make sure that 2 of those fonts are just a different weight. So say you choose a serif font, then one will be regular, one will be bold, of that same font, instead of 3 different fonts entirely. Okay, so what I want you to do is start looking at your favorite font, and then down the line we'll look at how you pair it up in your branding. But for now, let's just peg the 2 choices, and that you're going to pop in here. If you're needing help figuring out what that looks like, I have got this board over here. Let me just zoom out a smidge. Okay, so this is board. This is a page of some of my favorite fonts that I've seen and loved and used, or some used. But what I wanted to show you is, so I've pegged down 15 options for each. I think they're 15. This is my favorite sans serif fonts, and as you go through these, I'm hoping one or two will just stand out and you'll be like, yes, that one, yeah? I've got some favorite serif fonts as well, and my favorite scripts. Now, scripts are an interesting one. It's becoming more and more of a trend. There aren't that many scripted fonts in Canva, but what I have that are free. Okay, so what I've done is I've pulled through the free Canva scripts in each of the categories so that you can see these are some of the ones that I've liked out of each of those categories. But if you're willing to make the investment into a script font for your brand, it's not that big an investment. So you're somewhere between $15 and $30, and you can have one of these fonts. I think some of these even might be free. I think like DK Lemon Yellow Sun is free. So have a look at these fonts and see if one really jumps out at you. And then if you do want to buy a font, then you will go in or you're looking for either free or paid fonts. Where do you go looking for them? Well, here you go. You want to search for your own fonts, then you can click on this link over here, which will pull up the document that I've created for you. Google Fonts has an awesome selection and free. And how you search in it is you'll click on, sorry, I'm looking over here and it's not where, it's on this side of the page. You'll see that there are different styles of fonts that you like, and you can click on those and then look through. But if you're wanting to see a bit more of what your wording or your name would look like in this font, then you click on that sentence over there, the drop down. You'll choose custom, and then you can just type in the box and see what your font looks like. Or you could look at the paragraph, the alphabet, or what the numerals look like. Then you find a font you like, you click on the plus button, and then that will pull up, you'll see this little black bar at the bottom of your screen. When you click on that, you can either embed it, customize it, or you could click what I do. I click the download button, and then I get a zip folder on my computer, which I can then add into my fonts. So that's one of the easiest ways to do it. To add specific fonts that are not in Canva already, so Canva gives you a selection of fonts. Remember over here you had a drop down and you have a bunch of fonts that they have already provided for you. But if you don't like the ones that are in Canva, then you're going to need to upload your custom font. To do that, you're going to need Canva for Work. And then you'll be able to go here and under your brand, and you can upload your specific font. You'll see I've uploaded some of my clients' fonts along the way. And then when you come back into this document, it's as simple as clicking on and selecting that font, and it's there. Okay. Coming back to our book. So you've now chosen a font choice. Oh, wait, hold on. I only told you about Google. That was very rude. So you also have DaFont, which give you free and paid options. So you can choose the style you like. And then if you click on that more option over there, you can choose the ones that are free versus paid. You can look at up versus popularity. And if you type in the preview, you'll be able to see what your text looks like there. So that's quite a nice feature. And then my absolute favorite for script fonts is Creative Market, because it's lovely and reasonable. Fonts are between $15 and $30. And yes, this is an affiliate link because I absolutely am addicted to them. So much so that I've curated some collections for you. Like I've got a whole board on scripted fonts, brush style, thin scripts, sans serifs, serifs, and just some cute type for kiddie type fonts. So let me show you what I mean. This is my curated board on serif fonts. So you could have a look through, and if one really appeals to you, say you're like, this is interesting, I wonder what it would look like. You just click on it, and then you'll be able to see, okay, $15, awesome. And then you can type your own text in here to see if it works for your brand. Like for me, this would be a bit there's too many things missing here and it's hard to read. So then I'd know, actually, this font doesn't work for me. And I'd go back into the selection and look for a different font that did. So that's why Creator Market is awesome to work with. What did I have here for you? So you're going to pick down your brand fonts. If you were in this Pinterest board, so say you don't know where that link is and you haven't found your way to here, I've also popped it onto this typography Pinterest board. So there's the serifs, my favorite sans serifs, thin scripts, and normal scripts, all here for you that you can click on and find those links. Otherwise, you may scroll through here. There are some other fonts that are applicable to what you're wanting and some options for you to look at and choose. And then, yeah, those are the different font options that are here for you. And I can't wait to see the different kinds of fonts that you have found for your brand. Then once you figured all of this out, we're going to work together in terms of figuring out how you're going to pair it for your brand. So which fonts do you use where, what weighting works. And to read up on that, you can click on this link, the Ultimate Guide to Font Pairing. And it's a really awesome article that then talks through how you can pair different options together. And they give a rundown and some ideas, and this will help spark ideas for you. So that is it, your book on fonts and typography and font pairing. And I cannot wait to see the fonts you choose for your brand.